This video's sponsor is Massdrop, the online group buy site where users will vote on products, and then the most popular products will be a group buy on Massdrop. And then basically, the more and more people that join those group buys, the cheaper and cheaper everybody gets it for. I personally use Massdrop a lot, mostly though for keyboard accessories like mechanical keyboards or headphones and audio stuff. So if you're into headphones or keyboard stuff, or you just like good deals on tech, definitely go check them out with the link in the description. The Moto 360. As its name implies, it's a circle, and normally circles aren't that exciting. But in a world of rectangular tech, a circular smartwatch will definitely raise some eyebrows. The Moto 360 is a circular smartwatch made by Motorola. You can buy one for $249, and a lot of people might think that's a high price, but considering the materials that go into it, and the fact that when it was released, it was a one-of-a-kind tech, $250 is not that bad. And I'm here to tell you the absolute truth about the Moto 360. It's good. No, it's not even good, it's great. But it's still not good enough. So I have here what many people might consider the best of the best when it comes to smartwatches right now. This is the Moto 360 with a metal band fitted from Pedal. The metal bands from Motorola aren't released yet, so I purchased one from Pebble and then had that installed by a watchmaker, so now it's just a Moto 360 with a metal band. And to a smartwatch buyer, this is a great choice. This is an incredibly good experience with a smartwatch, but to the average consumer, it's just not nearly perfected. I used the Moto 360 religiously for a few weeks, and then the week after that, I used it a little bit less. But now, a month or two later, the novelty of it has worn off, and I'm hardly ever using it. But I'll explain why. So to explain, I'm going to start with the good. The circular form factor and premium build quality of the Moto 360 make it classy, and that is something specifically that all other smartwatches have failed to do. Now, it's not too classy. It would still look good with Under Armour or, say, an athletic outfit, but it would look much better with a suit or just nicer clothes in general. It's also rather lightweight. With a good band and a comfortable band installed, you're really not going to think you have a computer on your wrist. You'll just think of it as a watch. Speaking of that, the leather band that comes with it at $250 is very good. It's very comfortable and it fits right. It is waterproof. The Moto 360 is waterproof, but if you take that leather band through it, it won't fare too well. Mine got a little stiff after taking a shower with it, so I don't recommend that. But I have here a metal band, and it's less comfortable, but I think it adds to the classy appeal, and that's what I'm going for with my Moto 360. The rest of the good can be explained pretty briefly. The wireless charging, like dock station thing, is very useful to have, just being able to plop your watch down on it. And then the alarm clock mode that it goes into when you put it on that charger is also very convenient to have by your bedside or something. And then the sensors on the Moto 360, they're useful, but they're not extremely accurate. You can get some pretty different heart rate measures, even if you take it just within like 10 seconds. And then lastly, one of my favorite parts about it is actually the single physical button. It is really easy to use to navigate. All it does is just turn the power on and off, but it's nice to have that there and not too many buttons, so it's just a simple one physical button device. But what about the bad? Well, let's start off with battery, because that's the most well-known bad part about the Moto 360 and all smartwatches, well, almost all, in general right now. With the Moto 360, it's not awful. You will get a full day's battery life if you're using it like you ideally would use a smartwatch, which is occasional glancing, but people don't use their smartwatches like that, and I can attest to that. I didn't use it like that. When I used this full time, because I had a Moto 360 on my wrist, I was using it all the time. I wouldn't just use it when I got a text or an email or notification or to check the time. I'd be opening it up, looking at stuff, playing with it, and if you're buying a smartwatch, for the majority of the time, you're gonna be doing that, and maybe after like a couple months, the novelty will wear off and you'll use it less and less, but in the beginning at least, you're going to be using it a lot, and it would be nice to have a battery that can accommodate for that. More bad is the black bar at the bottom of the watch face. This is used to house the display drivers and the ambient light sensor, and after about 5 minutes, I didn't even notice it, but every once in a while, you will feel its presence, and you'll look down at your watch, ready to look at the timer or notification, and just be disappointed looking at a not perfect circle. And I think that actually interferes with some of the watch faces to not be perfectly circular, so I really hope that in either a different smartwatch brand or a future version of the Moto 360, that bar is gotten rid of. Now, those are reasons that the Moto 360 isn't perfect, but those aren't the reasons that it's not good enough for me. The main reasons that it's not good enough for me is that it's just not I don't see the point. It's not convenient for me. Lifting my watch and waiting for the motion detection to turn the screen on and check the time is slower than just whipping out my phone and pressing the home button to see what time it is. You can only effectively read notifications. It would require more voice control to reply to that, and it's not necessarily inherently useful to be able to read a notification without being able to reply to it easily. And even then, the notifications shown on the Moto 360 are only useful if they're of a certain length. If it's too long, you're taking your phone out anyway. And not only do you need it to be connected via Bluetooth to have it be fully functional, it needs to be connected to an Android phone. And that's a problem for me because I'm using an iPhone. And for a while when the iPhone came out, I was still using the Moto 360, so I was carrying around a spare Moto G just to use the Moto 360. That's unacceptable. Somebody is going to have to make a cross-platform smartwatch or smartwatch operating system, and I don't think it's going to be Apple. Now, I want to be clear that these problems that I'm talking about are all smartwatches. This isn't just a Moto 360 thing, but I'm reviewing the Moto 360, and these are the experiences I've had. And since it's considered the best of the best right now, and to most people, if this isn't good enough for me, nothing's going to be. Concluding this is kind of difficult. Motorola is selling a $250 circular smartwatch that, when connected to an Android phone via Bluetooth, has a decent arsenal of functionality that will kill the battery without moderation. Now, I touched on this earlier. If you're a smartwatch buyer, this is a great option. It's comfortable, circular, lightweight, and premium. But if you're not a smartwatch buyer, spending $250 on a watch isn't necessarily worth reading a text or a notification 3 seconds faster than if you took out your phone to read said notification. And then you also have to deal with problems like the black bar at the bottom, delayed motion sensing, everything else I mentioned, a not perfect operating system, and honestly, just an experience that isn't as convenient as it could be. As I just said, the Moto 360 is a great choice, probably the best choice for a smartwatch buyer looking for a smartwatch to use. But for the average consumer that just wants a more convenient experience, you should keep looking.